Hey, and welcome to Keep Sane. This is going to be episode 11. It's pretty much going to be social media and like online presence, stuff like that. I'm not really sure if that's ultimately what I'm going to ramble about, but for the most part, you know, social media is such a main thing these days. Online persona and communication is so overtaken knowing how to talk to someone face to face, especially in young kids. It's getting a little bit painful. Um, they don't know how to say even the acronyms they use. They know what it means, but that's how they speak and write, and it throws me off. But beyond that, it's social media was never. I mean, media and social media was never meant to find ways to be a troll and to be mean to people for your own amusement or just to be ultra dick about your viewpoint and being closed-minded and trying to berate and bully people into your point of view. And social media, I love tech. I'm a big fan of tech, but I am not a big fan of the way a lot of it's used. You know I barely post to social media. I figure if you know me, you know what's going on in my life. I share only with people who I'm friends with on, photos and stuff like that. I don't engage in banter with people because I don't feel like I'm ever going to change their mind. Um, yes, by not calling them out or uh, calling them out, disagreeing with them on that platform, maybe I'm allowing them to feel like they're making a change in my life to make them like they're influencing my thoughts. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong to not do some minor confrontation, not like where it gets nasty or rude, but just, hey, I disagree with your opinion or something like that. Maybe I should. Maybe I need to figure out how to have a counter voice to things I don't agree with. Um, but for the most part, people really do seem to think that they can post anything and it's not going to affect them personally. I very much disagree with that. I think you should never post anything that you wouldn't say to the people that you're trying to change, that you wouldn't say to someone in person. If it's people that you don't know, then maybe you should learn to post just to the people you want to see it. There are ways to do that. Not in every platform, but in most of them, you can select your circles. One of the major things I like about Google Plus over like Facebook, and I think Facebook's kind of incorporated this, but I don't tend to do it. Again, I don't post that much. Is the whole circle things on Plus, being able to kind of create, the group. So if I have something business related, I can put, business and consulting stuff. If I want to put something stupid that only my close friends would, or close friends, people I know really closely would think is interesting or funny. If I want to put something a little inappropriate and I don't want my grandparents to see it, not that they're on Google Plus, but if I wanted to do that, um, I could post it there and not have to worry about everybody else seeing it. Again, I think Facebook's done this a little bit where you can post to groups and friends and not have everybody else. Although some reason people don't seem to know how to use those tools. Um, It'd be great because I really could give a crap about what most people in my news feed from my friends think. I really don't. If anything, I don't want to talk to them because of their news feed. And that's sad. I also think you shouldn't post so much that I never need to talk to you. If I don't need to communicate with you because you post so much, that's a you oversharing problem. That's not me and under communicating. You've communicated fine. My response to you is I'm uninterested. I'm not going to respond. Um, I also believe that if you're unwilling to say happy to birthday to someone on Facebook on their birthday when you get the notification, you're on there anyway, you probably should unfriend them. I don't always, um, but if they don't say happy birthday to you and you don't say happy birthday to them, why do you just want that many friends? Or it seems stupid if you would have a friend on Facebook that you wouldn't wish happy birthday to. Um, again, that's me. Um, Twitter, I don't get. I don't think anything that short needs to be said. I'm also feel the same about texting. Again, I'll probably have its own little feed for that. Um, I try to keep these shorter. I don't think I have anything so original um, to say in a lot of these small ones to have them be overly long. Um, just brushing a lot of topics that bug me because again, this is my therapy. You know, as I have more time and as I feel like I get the basics out there, I'll probably spend more time putting together additional things, things that require support information. But hey, as Americans, we don't tend to require that, do we? I could say something stupid on here then pretend it's fact, and a lot of people would believe it. They wouldn't question it. They'd be like, "I heard it. It must be true." Or if I say it convincingly enough, they'll assume it's true instead of "I don't really know. I think it might be something like this." Um, and we all fall in habit of that, especially if we don't get corrected as younger people about lying or making up facts so you sound like you might have an idea. I catch my kids all the time trying to pretend like they understand something, which is, hey, explain it to me. And they start doing the forever, which no different than if you ask them, did you do this? And they do the answer is no. Um, so anyway, for me, social media interactions, I love the concept behind most of the tech. I really do. I get the idea of it. The execution by people, not so much. People tend to like to hide behind the anonymity, just like I am here, um, to speak their mind. And for me, yeah, I know, I'll get annoyed with people, and I'll say it here. Maybe I won't say it to, well, obviously, if I'm talking about like NFL referees, I don't know any. Who am I going to say it to other than maybe bitch about it online? I know message board or something like that, which I think holds less than 0% chance of creating change. Um, I think any business you want to change, you have to affect their pocketbook first and foremost. And I do think social media is good for helping develop community. And I don't mean, I really don't want to say groups because that's as we start identifying as a group and having a name and having an ideology or a stance, I feel that's when you're going to have an opponent and you have to start drawing lines and picking sides and having arguments instead of developing conversations. And it's hard. And it's so easy to root for something. It's natural to be against and have a gut reaction to something you hear. I watch TV all the time and watch, Sports Center or NFL Network or whatever, and you instantly have people, just spitting out random thoughts, especially like players. Like, we treat NFL players like cattle. I mean, oh, this person's awful. This person should get the start. I mean, 1 week, 5 good snaps, and all of a sudden this person's the heir apparent. Um, it's really ridiculous how quickly we jump on a bandwagon of something that seems decent. We hype up people so much, and it's about selling sensationalism and news. And I mean, social media all feeds that because I mean, like, I love The Onion. It's funny as heck. So many people believe that, and they have to get told The Onion isn't real. It's parodies. You know, it's a farce. It's all about just making something that they think would be funny to be out there, or hey, seeing if people believe this stupid thing we're about to say, or let's skew this one thing, and it's funny. It really is. But beyond The Onion and stuff like that, I mean, the internet and reposting um, and commentating on an article. I mean, false information can spread so quickly. Just do a little fact checking. I mean, I know a ton of people that like and share, they don't read till the end. And some of them, if you read them, flat out say, I just wanted to see if you'd read this to the end. It's fake. I mean, they're not even trying to fully sell it to you. They're trying to sell you on the concept. I remember after Trump won, there was a bunch of the loophole that would make Bernie Sanders president. and it was great. I clicked on it to read it because it was good clickbait. It was catchy. It was like, oh, maybe there's a way out. And don't worry, you know, I didn't vote for Bernie Sanders, but I didn't vote for Trump either. I voted for another party, and it wasn't Hillary. So I'll let you guess later on and make you keep listening when I talk about politics on another time. At another time. But yeah, it was interesting. I clicked on it, read it, was like, ha ha ha. Yep, I fell for the clickbait, but it is what I thought it was, which was just to get you to click it and read it to see if you had any intelligence. And luckily, I passed that test. I don't know if I always do, but I like to think I will at least try to skim a whole article because I hate reading. Dyslexia sucks. I should probably work on that because reading is really important. I'm such a slow reader and my vision's so bad. It's too hard. I was gonna type and do a blog instead of a podcast sort of style, but the thought of trying to type that much and having to proofread it and correct it and was so painful. I doing it this way. Yeah, there's a lot of benefits to writing a neat article and there's a lot of Google search benefits, but it takes forever to type it for me and to proofread it and all that stuff. And to stare at my screen that long, my eyes really can't take it. My eye doctor really discourages. And I already do tech work. I already do web development. I don't need any additional reasons to be that close. I'm looking at my monitors, but I'm far from them right now to not strain my eyes. Um, so anyway, social media it's a great tool. It really is. I just would love to see people use it for positivity, for trying to create real discussions. I mean, and I don't mean real discussions online. I mean, create real discussions into the real world. And I hate big groups. I hate dealing with difficulties parking and finding out where you're going. And I'm not a big fan of confrontation, but if I know I'm going there with someone who wants to openly have a discussion, um, even if I don't participate in what's being said so much, I'm a huge fan for it. And I think, social media is great for that. When I first had kids, social media, to my knowledge, I don't think MySpace was a big thing. I mean, we're talking 2001, early 2000s, 2002. Anyway, when, first kids born, have a bunch of pictures everybody wants to see. Even digital cameras weren't all that great back then. Didn't have a phone with everything under the sun. I remember my in-laws at the time had a pretty nice digital camera. I'd had some crappy ones, so you're still doing a bunch of stuff on, that you actually had to go develop and all this other stuff, or even if it's digital, you had to print it. But I had friends and family out of town. They wanted to see pictures of the baby. So I created websites with image galleries and stuff like that to share images of, my firstborn son. And, one, I did learn a bunch. It's great. You learn HTML, you learned how a little bit of, graphic editing and, so you learn something, you put a bunch of work into it. You did have to do a lot more explanation back then on how someone could see it. Hope they had a fast enough internet connection to view it. So there was difficulties. So I loved social media when it came out for being able to share information with family and friends, about what was going on, and that's what I loved about it. That it brought your family like they weren't far away, and or your friends or whatnot. But I never thought it would be about people bashing each other and hiding behind the cloak of who they are, or not who they are, but their online persona. Less with Facebook, but you have trolls on Facebook and fake accounts. You see a lot more on message boards and forums and things of that nature. Um, you have more groups of, you know, one side or the other, or, more radical versions. And yeah, they hide. I mean, obviously, some people know that their opinion isn't liked and they hide. I have opinions that people don't tend to like. At least what I think is 25 or 30%. If you look at all the slices of pie, religion and politics, you're going to have people that disagree with you. And so that's mainly what I'm talking about here. Political and religious viewpoints. And I'll get into some of that on other stuff, but ultimately, my hope would be we teach kids communication, teach each other better communication, and that we carry that into social media. Just because they can't reach through the screen and punch you shouldn't mean that you're gonna say it in a way that would make them want to. Um, you know, and I read stuff all day long. I want to comment, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to change their mind. It's not worth the fight. Maybe I should just start saying I disagree. Or now that you can do angry face or something on the post, maybe I should just do that. I might do more research and maybe I'll report back at some point in time. Um, Maybe I'll have some conversations with people how they would like me to disagree with them, um, because they're not changing my mind. But instead of making it a debate, just let them know that I don't agree with what they just posted, without arguing. Anyway, just random thoughts on the subject matter, but do remember if you don't like people doing it to you, golden rule, treat others as you would like to be treated. Um, and that's best way to always think about it, I guess. And if you keep your mind open, you'll learn if they don't like being treated like that. So have a good one.